In my last video, I told you about how happiness might be explained through a good versus bad comparison. If you have more positive than negative experiences over a period of time, you might be more resilient against mental illness and generally more satisfied. Additionally, I told you how there are big and small positives and negatives, and how there is this unfair advantage for the negative side caused by the negativity bias. Today I want to tell you about a negative influence which a lot of people might not be aware of. One quite casual thing which feeds the negativity bias in a severe manner are the news. News nowadays are, as a lot of things, dependent on the market. This results in a more competitive nature of information being broadcast to the public. As a news broadcaster, you are in a position where you have to attract the attention of a huge crowd to be economically viable. As discussed in my last video, one way of attracting attention is the negativity bias. I have made the observation that under these circumstances, news outlets nowadays are doing everything in their legal power to use the negativity bias to gain more attention by selective and overly negative depiction of events. I do not want to devalue the need of being an informed citizen, but I watch this development with great concern. In the moment where something happening far out of your personal relevance becomes a negative influence for your everyday life, you might want to rethink the purpose of watching the daily news. Why should a political conflict or humanitarian crisis thousands of kilometers away be the reason I am having a bad day where my symptoms of depression are heightened? I am not saying that you should become ignorant of what is happening in the world. Quite the opposite, you should become more aware. But you should always ask yourself if confronting yourself regularly with often heightened negative depictions of negative events is something beneficial for you at the time. Some might have the resources to confront themselves with this type of information regularly and maybe even find some sort of purpose or responsibility in this, which would be amazing because it can result in a more empathetic way of sharing this earth. But it is also the ideal scenario with functioning resources to help one cope with the overpowering load of suffering in this world. For a lot of people, it might therefore be recommended to cut themselves off more from this constant stream of mostly negative information. If you currently struggle with things far more close to home, why should something happening on the other side of the world be something draining the last reserves of your resources? I hope I could show you that I am by no means an adversary of the news and see them as a valuable part of any healthy society. But you have probably also gotten to know me as someone who is a huge supporter of living in the moment. In contrast to a lot of my other videos, this might be a great topic for discussion. So please let me know what you think of my take and your own opinion on this topic down below.